Hey everyone, Tim Anderson here, aka Renfail, and welcome to something new here on my YouTube channel. This is a game called Solasta, Crown of the Magister, from a company called Tactical Adventures. And it's a game that I've actually had on my radar for about a year, since I believe it was brought up in my Discord community by, I think it was Adric who brought it up. We were talking about games that had made the transition from tabletop over to the digital format, and this is something that popped up because it looked like it was using some pretty significant tabletop mechanics and dice rolls and all this other stuff. So I kind of had taken a look at it and then forgotten about it, and it popped up in my Twitter feed a couple days ago. I think on Friday, maybe Friday or Saturday. I know I picked it up on Saturday. Popped up on my Twitter feed. GOG said that they were running a 20% sale, and so I was like, well, yeah, I'll take the plunge for an early access game. It was $10, a little under $10. So I went ahead and grabbed it, and I wanted to talk a little bit about it because this is a game that I'm going to be spending a lot of time in the month of April. Supposedly, according to the description page for the game, and I'll have all the links below, excuse me, but supposedly they say it's got about 10 hours of gameplay, so I'm interested to see how that plays out, because I know, as an example, Baldur's Gate 3, Larian Studios said, oh, it's got 20 to 25 hours of gameplay, and I got almost 60 hours out of my first run through with that. I'm a bit of a completionist, so I'm looking forward to diving into this game and seeing what it's all about. Now, I've played it for about 4 hours. I've done a single session. I dove in and I just was immediately hooked, and I wanted to do a quick overview video today about this game and maybe jump in and show a little bit about it, a little bit of the gameplay and stuff. But I'll be doing some other more in-depth videos on the specific aspects of the game that I really like throughout the month of April. For example, there's going to be a whole episode just to the character creation of this game because it's incredibly in-depth. But one of the things I wanted to say is real quick is that if you've ever enjoyed the old, top-down isometric games like Baldur's Gate, Baldur's Gate 2, Icewind Dale 2, the Neverwinter Nights games, or more modern takes on those like the Wasteland series, or Pillars of Eternity 1 and 2, Divinity Original Sin 1 and 2, this is a game in a similar vein. Now, as I understand things, they use the 5th edition D&D rules, but we won't hold that against them. I'm just teasing. But there's a lot going on here. So first and foremost is the actual game itself, but then apparently they're also doing a dungeon maker so that you can create dungeons for your community, which could be a fun roleplay tool if you're going to be running campaigns in a homebrew D&D setting and you're using 5th edition. Considering you'll have access to the assets of this game, and you'll be able to make your own dungeons, which is kind of a very interesting. I see potential in it for homebrewed campaigns, but beyond that is the game itself and beyond. But what's really interesting is, so when you get going here, you're going to be able to choose from your a selection of pre-designed characters, or you can also, up here at the top, there's pre-generated characters and then your personal characters. So I actually went through the other day and I lost an hour and a half creating my 4 characters to run through the campaign. So I'm definitely going to do, like I said, an episode just on characters and character creation and design. But this game is incredibly in-depth from a mechanical standpoint. It's obviously still in early access. There is some stuff that I'm a little, I'm going to wait and see how it pans out. As an example, there's not enough voice options yet, and this is me being constructively criticizing, because I understand it's early access, so I'm not holding this against them. I'm just saying, for those of you who think, you might want to take the plunge and try this game out in early access, remember, it's early access. I haven't come across any bugs, to be honest with you. The only limitations that I've seen have been kind of, just a lack of options for voices for the characters, and the facial, like the faces of the characters, are all a little too similar for my tastes. But when I say the character creation process is incredibly in-depth, I'm talking about the mechanics and features, not necessarily, the cosmetics and things. So these are little things that I look at and go, they're not enough to take me away from the game. Because overall, this thing is getting like a 7 or 8 out of 10 for me, even in early access. I think it's a great game. So without further ado, I do just want to dive in real quick and just show you a little bit of the game. I played a little bit the other day, and we're going to just load this up. I believe this is made in the Unity engine, if I'm not mistaken. The first few hours that I played the other day was, I spent a good chunk in character creation, and then after that I went into doing some of the early adventures. So, you've got your typical, you can scroll in and come in really, really close, or you can come out and have this pan your camera around everything else. And if you're used to these old styles of games, you can individually select a character, or you can, select all of the characters and move them as a group. And like if you hold down the Alt button, it'll like highlight objects in the area. Now, one of the things I don't think it has yet, I haven't dove into the game enough to know, but there doesn't appear to be any edge scrolling with your mouse. So you have to actually, use the keyboard, the WASD keyboards, to move your camera around, which is not that big of a deal. It's different, I'll give you that, but looks like we can go all the way up here. Hey, is this that bridge that No. I wonder if this is the bridge that I came across earlier that I knocked down with my dwarf in the tutorial. It might be.
What's that smell?
So obviously there's... Uh-oh. Looks like we've run into some goblins. So this is what I love. Look at these dice rolls. And we've got all these dice rolls going on for initiative, which is freaking amazing. I love anytime I can see dice rolls going on. Tutorial, take cover. In battle, you'll often find walls, barricades, or other setting elements that display a shield icon. Half cover gives enemies a -2 penalty to hit with ranged attacks. Of course, you have to be on the other side of the cover. 3/4 cover grants a -5 penalty. Full cover means you cannot be targeted. This does not affect melee attacks or area of effect spells. In battle, you can only use your inventory once per turn. This includes switching weapons. Alright, so this is all some pretty interesting... I found that they have an incredibly detailed tutorial system. And then it's grid-based combat. So, yeah, so you can see how far your character can move, so on and so forth. And then you can take cover. So I'm going to... Which character? This is my mage. Can I cast anything? Fog on them. Yeah. That's right. You be obscured. Let's go ahead and take cover. And end his turn. Now let's send my dwarf. Where's the dash button? End his turn. Let's get him up here, behind cover. Oh, he's gonna jump down. Interesting. Alright, this is my cleric. Let's go ahead and move up here and attack.
Yeah.
I love the dice rolls. Just so cool. He's gonna disengage and run back. There's quite a few of them. Alright, so I don't want this to be all about the combat, because this is meant to be an overview video here. So I'd say I'm probably going to go ahead and end the video here while I go through this combat scenario, because what I want to leave you all with is this. I'm going to be playing this game a lot throughout the month of April. I imagine I'll play it 2 or 3 times a week in my spare time, and I'm going to be doing more overview videos about this game. I'm going to talk more about, like I said, the character creation and the design, the mechanics. I'm going to go into the in-depth nature of the combat system as I get to know this game a little bit more. But I did just want to hop on this morning and show you a little bit of what I think is a very interesting early access game, especially if you love RPGs like I do. And I'm looking forward to sinking my teeth into this in more detail. If you haven't already done so, make sure to hit the bell icon, subscribe to the channel, do all the things that you're supposed to do if you want to get more information from me here on my YouTube channel. And of course, check the links below to join us in Discord, and check out the Patreon where we're working on Project Drummond and all of the other things that we're doing on social media, Discord, all that stuff. So links below, subscribe to this channel, hit the bell icon, and I will see you in the next video, whether it's about this game or another game. Until then, stay safe, stay healthy, and safe gaming.